Steve, I love the idea of drills. I mean, you have to give people drills to build a habit or to break an old habit.
Right. Well, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And in this case, I have the perfect drill that will help everybody out there practice and build their compound pivot. Now, this is so simple. You'll be able to learn this very quickly, how to do this, and then you can practice it anywhere. You don't even need a golf club. You can practice it in your office, at home. You can do it in an elevator if you wanted to. So I call this the rocking the baby drill. So here you have a bucket instead of an infant, okay? And all we're going to do is rock the baby from side to side. You see how the knee comes to the center, the right knee is straightening. Now rock the other way. And really, you don't even have to rock this far to practice the drill. You can just rock to and fro about 30 degrees just to learn how to move the knees correctly.
And a good way to think about it, doing it right versus doing it wrong, it's kind of what drills will teach us.
That's right.
Here's the right way, what it feels like. Here's the wrong way, what it feels like. A wrong way to rock the baby would be like when we use the hula hoop, okay? It would be, you know, you throw the baby behind you. That would be no good.
That's right. And so that would be the wrong action of the hips turning in place. That's right. That would be turning the hips in place. The shoulders are going around on a horizontal instead of down to the ball. So show everybody that one more time, and let's do it in a rhythmic pace here. We'll go on a waltz count. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See the left shoulder work down and then back up again.
As the hips.
That's right. As the hips go up and down, as they're swinging from side to side. Terrific. So that's a great drill to do at home and makes building your compound pivot very easy. Why don't we just move right along and talk about the takeaway now that we've learned how to use the legs throughout the entire swing, basically. Now we just can put the clubs, our hands on the club, and boy, that compound pivot will take us right into the backswing. As Mike used to always talk about, he said, you know, we don't turn, the wheel doesn't turn the axle turns the wheel. So all good movement in sports starts at the hub, which is around the navel area, the body's center of mass. And so what I think people have the wrong idea about, which makes everything a little tougher, is they want to start the club with the hands and arms, which there just isn't any other equivalent in sports where you start a motion with the extremities and then have the body following it. It's always the opposite way.
Right.
Okay, so now go ahead and address the ball like we've talked about. Let's fit the right side under. He has a good setup. He could hit the ball equally well with either hand right now. Okay, now this is where some controversy comes up, or at least some confusion. A lot of people write to me, I've seen a lot of forum posts that talk about how Mike took the club away. It's one of the most misinterpreted things I think there is. And it is the simplest explanation that there is. So all Jerry's going to do here, he's going to make a little baby forward press, and by doing that, he's going to take right here this little bit of arch in this hand. He's going to just flatten it with a little forward press. And now he's just going to start to rock the baby, and his arms and hands are going to do almost nothing. Okay? So let's just see it back to, let's say, 18 to 24 inches. We'll call that the takeaway for now. And all he's going to do is rock his navel to the right. Okay? Now, Mike used to call this position, he used to describe it as, when I took the club away, I would turn my hand this way like I was reading a Bible. Now, show him how that would be possible. I bet you can do it if you set yourself in that position. I take the club out of your hands, I bet you your left hand is right in the Bible reading position.
And the important part of that is it was not manipulated by the hand movement.
Right.
It's not a curling under of the hands independently.
That's right. Mike would have his wrist flat and he would leave it there. There was not a palmar flexion move that he ever used. Now when we talk about small chips, now Mike did advocate this movement on a small chip because you didn't have to open and close the face. We don't need power, we just need precision on the chip. But when it came to full swings, I have not found any evidence to suggest that Mike ever changed his hand action to this move here. It's just a matter of, isn't it, that when the left shoulder turns down, that that hand's in that position like that. So all I'm doing here is I'm just start to rock. My arm starts to swing with the turn of my torso. You see that? Now the torso is being turned by the action of the legs and the hips. And now his arm's in position. You see the club face is pointing right at the ball for the most part.
It's still on the swing circle. The points of the compass are right on the middle of that club face. I haven't turned it off the swing circle. I haven't counter-rotated the golf club either.
No, no.
It's a non-rotation.
That's right.
What it is.
That's right. We're just starting to rock the baby. That's how simple this is. People have turned it into this big, deal, and they've really convoluted it, and that's really how simple it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about now how we get a little further. We'll take it halfway up. And this is what Mike called getting on plane. Let's start to cock the wrists a little bit till the club is in halfway back position. Okay, bring it down just a little bit more so we're at the 4/8 position. Now this is the point where Mike first said we would get on plane. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. Look what happens. Give me a 2/8. Give me a 2/8 swing here, right into this position here. Now you see, this club is way further inside than let's say orthodox or most teaching would say it should be. But we've moved our hips differently. The orthodox teaching would tell us that only the hands and arms have moved by now. And that would put the club, Jerry, just using no legs, lock your navel into place and just cock the wrist back. You see, now that is horizontal parallel down the target line.
Haven't moved here.
But he hasn't moved. He hasn't rocked the baby yet. He has not started his compound pivot. He's not leading the backswing with his navel. It's not moved. So now go ahead and move your navel. Start to swing it. There. Now.
That's what Mike would talk about as the in curve going back.
That's right. That's right. That's the in curve going back. Now, how many major victories can we name? People out there right now, they're like, these guys are out of their mind. First they're telling me to sway my right hip, now they're telling me to take the club way inside. These guys are nuts. I can't do anything for her to push it. Right? Now, how many, I'll name a guy, you name a guy who took the club back here. I'll start with Nicholas because he's number one, right? Nicholas took the club back right here.
Raymond Floyd?
Raymond Floyd. How about another, I got another good one for you, Sam Snead. Did he win a few tournaments?
He won a few, 82.
Okay, how about Hogan?
Hogan.
How about Bobby Jones?
Bobby Jones.
Okay. Basically, almost everybody before the video age started, when they started using handy cams to video people's swings, go to Tom Watson. Probably the last gem of the pre-video age in the 70s. We can go on and on. We can go on and on and on, but Mike brought the club to the inside. There was a physiological reason that it was there, and that's because he started rocking the hips at the same time he was taking the club away, just like that.
Yep.
Okay. So, good that we could clear up that a little bit. We'll go back to the halfway back position again. Halfway back would be right arm or left arm at 9 o'clock. Club would be vertical. You can see here that he's almost finished with his rocking the baby or his compound pivot working back. You can see he is now starting to wind the shoulder blades. This is an adduction of the left shoulder blade, an abduction or pulling in towards the spine of the right shoulder blade. And this is helping us maximize the shoulder turn for the most amount of power. So you see that what normal range of motion is with the neck is about 70 degrees, 80 degrees in each direction, which also means that I can turn my torso 80 degrees or 70 degrees while my head stays on the ball. So I'm just keeping that anchored while my body turns around. It's the same movement exactly. When we add the shoulder blades, about how many degrees are we going to be picking up when we wind the shoulder blades?
Well, if we're going 70 degrees, we're picking up 15 to 20 degrees on each shoulder blade.
Okay,
going back.
So we can go from 70 to 80. We'll add 20 to 30 as the normal range of motion in the shoulder blade. This one will pull away from the spine. That's right. This one will pull into the spine, almost like you're doing a rowing motion. And now we've got a fairly steady base of the neck again, swing circle center, where we want to keep as fixed as possible. But we have much more than a 90-degree shoulder turn, and we've got loaded up on. Now in that position, when you start winding that up, you start feeling like, oh man, I can just hit this.
You do, and you should feel that, like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go the other way.
Yeah.